I'm a little bit late to this story, but I want to talk about it all the same. August of 1980, British rock band Queen made a song called Another One Bites the Dust. And when interviewed about it, frontman Freddie Mercury had this to say as to why he named the track this.
And right now, you know,
yeah, I think Britain will be in a simultaneous state of economic, political, and social decay in the next 40 years. That'll necessitate a rapid change in the number of prime ministers. So that's why I wrote this song, this catchy tune, darling.
So prescient! How did he know? Because now we flash forward 40 years and Britain is going through prime minister after prime minister after prime minister. And just recently, another one bit the dust. Now, about a month and a half ago, we said this on this channel. And then he's facing increasing calls to resign. In fact, they even got the classic traditional British photo of you looking like a piece of shit in the back of a car. And you know it's over. Once they get one of these photos, this is British classic, bro. Once they get one of these photos, it's like, oh, you're cooked. Well, he's cooked. Because as of about a day and a half ago,
has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party.
He stepped down. Keir Starmer got up in front of 10 Downing Street, as so many prime ministers have done recently, and said, I'm stepping down. What can you say about him that he hasn't said about himself?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I am a gooner, and so...
He's the 7th leader in a decade. Now that sounds like a lot, obviously. 7 leaders in a decade sounds like a lot, but where does it compare to other countries? If you put it on a chart, you'll notice that it's actually pretty damn extreme. And this chart only goes to 6, but in fact, once the next prime minister comes in after Keir Starmer, it will be 7, which makes me think again of Keir Starmer.
6, 7. Yeah. 6, 7. Everybody. 6, 7. Are you doing page 6, 7?
We're not over that yet.
So, this is like the most of any major economy right now. They're going through more leaders than anyone else. And it's a sign of complete turbulence, of dissatisfaction, of resentment and anger in the British electorate. They just keep flip-flopping back and forth between different leaders, and nobody's making any real progress on the actual change. Now, you'll notice, you know, the US is at 3, France is at 2, Spain's at 2. All these countries have their own problems. There's a few countries down here at just 1 for the entire time, and they're putting out some propaganda about it. This came from one of the Chinese accounts, Chinese foreign ministry accounts, pointing out that they've just had one guy the whole time since 2012. Odd flex, to be honest. That might be too few. But you might be asking, you know, this is the rise and fall of Keir Starmer. Where did it all go wrong? What happened with this guy? And the truth is that while Keir Starmer was not very charismatic, he was considered a bit of a robot.
You seem more like a political robot. How are you going to convince others like me to vote for you?
Well, the most... Look.
He wasn't very good on his feet. He wasn't good in front of a crowd. He wasn't good at getting people inspired. He wasn't good at delivering a coherent message. While this is all true, and while he did have some scandals, including appointing an ambassador to the United States who was implicated in the Epstein files and accepting a large number of gifts from political donators, it's hard to say these are individually the reason why he was brought down when you zoom out and look at this larger trend in the British electorate, okay? I mean, for example, one of his major scandals was that he got £100,000 of tickets and gifts, more than any other recent party leader. However, the person that's now polling ahead of him, that might be a future prime minister of the UK, God, hopefully not, Nigel Farage, got 5 million in gifts and said openly, I can spend it on Ferraris or betting on horses if I want. It's not hypocritical to criticize Keir Starmer for receiving glasses, even though I received a lot more. And like, he's not receiving nearly as much flack. So the idea that it's like just individual scandals, I think it's a larger problem deeper in the heart of Britain. And to look into it, we're gonna go take a look back a bit at the last prime ministers, this last 10 years of prime ministers, to see if we can find a coherent pattern. First, I wanna say, as he got up in front of 10 Downing Street and gave his final speech, he has been outlasted. All of these prime ministers we're gonna talk about have been outlasted by one cat. This is Larry the cat. He lives at this address and he has outlasted all 6 British prime ministers This one cat. And what's crazy is every time another one of them steps down, you have a photo of this cat looking menacing in the background. It's like Jar Jar Binks. It's like evil Jar Jar. Maybe this cat is the reason. You got people on internet saying Larry the cat for prime minister. He's outlasted all of them. So let's go all the way back. I want to try and find a pattern here. And we'll start 10 years ago with David Cameron. David Cameron comes into office as prime minister of the UK. He's the golden boy of the Conservative Party, the Tories. And he's got quick wit. He's sharp on his feet. He's considered pretty charismatic. He's good at talking to trees.
That's the most important thing of all, winning the trust of people that have put their trust in us, many of them for the first time, and Boris will have my full support as he does that.
Well, I don't know why he's talking to a tree.
And he comes into power, and he is one of the Conservative Tories who is against the idea of Britain leaving the EU. He is Tories against Brexit. But there's a splinter wing of the Conservative Party who is more and more cheering, let's get out of the EU, let's Brexit. This is back in, pre-2016, led by Nigel Farage, for example. We want our country back, we want to leave, okay? So David Cameron makes a gamble. He says, in order to unite our party and prevent this splintering, I'll have a vote. We'll have a public vote on this and we'll be done with it. Because in his mind, there is no chance that Brexit actually passes. David Cameron makes the original sin of calling for this vote, thinking there is no way he is going to lose. Unfortunately, the rallies get bigger. Screw the EU. We've been betrayed. Believe in Britain. British nationalism starts to rise. They start stomping on the European flag. And all of a sudden, as the election's actually held, despite vehement protests and speeches by the Prime Minister, David Cameron, Britain votes 52% to 48% to leave the EU. And it passes in 2016. David Cameron is crushed. His whole plan has backfired. And so he steps down and says, I cannot be your prime minister and lead you through Brexit. I don't support Brexit. So the toll is now won. One prime minister down, and the primary cause, Brexit. He can't lead them through it. So the Conservatives have to put up a new prime minister. By the way, a very brief aside, to explain how their system works, the UK is divided into like 650 different constituencies. They all elect a member of parliament. The member of parliament party that has they have to sometimes combine parties. Whoever gets the majority puts up one leader as their prime minister. The people don't vote directly for a prime minister, okay? The parties pick it. People vote for a party in their region. Whichever party has the most seats picks a prime minister, okay? So when someone steps down, all the members of the party get together and pick a new leader. It's not like a vote. So the Conservative Party says, okay, we got a new leader for you. It's Theresa May. Seen here enjoying some chips, as they call them in jolly old England. Theresa May's next up. Now, she has many different skills. Number one, she's an incredible and natural dancer. Theresa May steps up and she has one goal in mind, okay? She's read the room, and the goal is get Brexit done.
Brexit means Brexit, and we're going to make a success of it. Brexit means Brexit. I'm very clear, Brexit does mean Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit, okay? Maybe this guy stepped down because he's too much of a coward to get Brexit done. But everybody voted for it, and now we have to do it. So she spends all her time in office pushing to make Brexit happen. And then
It is and will always remain a matter of deep regret to me that I have not been able to deliver Brexit.
she couldn't do it. She spent a few years, she couldn't get Brexit done, and so she stepped down. That's 2 prime ministers down because of Brexit. Number 2 claims another one. So now we are in 2019, roughly. It's been 3 years since people voted for Brexit. It still hasn't happened. Everyone's still angry about it. Not most of the country, I won't give the exact, but a lot of the country, especially the intelligent part of the country, is like, let's not actually do it. Let's not do it. But now, 3rd time's the charm. Enter Boris Johnson, AKA British Trump. Boris Johnson comes in and says, nuh-uh. This time, Brexit for fucking real. He says, do or die.
Pushing our plan into action. So we understand. And getting ready to come out on October the 31st.
31st, correct.
Come what may.
Come what may.
Do or die?
Come what may. Do or die. Come what may.
As for that
he says it over and over. Do or die. October 31st, we will get Brexit done. I don't care. The people voted for it. I'm the prime minister for the job. We're getting out of the EU. It's happening. And then the day comes and it passes and it doesn't happen. This is 2019. So now we're in 2019. October 31st has happened. Do or die, and they still haven't gotten Brexit. Finally, after giving up a bunch of concessions, after forcing it through, after pissing off a lot of trade deals in the EU, after pissing off people within the country, they just force through Brexit in one of the worst possible implementations, and they get out of the EU. And this happens exactly in January of 2020. Thankfully, it's time for the world to rest easy. This big economic shock won't be paired with anything else, and we can finally at least figure out what's going on with Brexit. Uh-oh. Now, Boris Johnson is heading the UK at a time of true national crisis. England is poorly managed during the pandemic and has the highest excess death rate in all of Europe. And this hits at the exact same time as they abandon all their trade relationships within the EU. So the combination of Brexit plus COVID causes one of the biggest falls in real GDP per capita that any country had in the world. Just an absolute collapse in UK real living standards. At the same time as this completely destroys the UK economy and everyone is being forced to lock down because of this pandemic, Boris Johnson decides this is the time to party. And he's caught on camera doing multiple parties while telling everyone else they can't gather and they can't be out unmasked. And this becomes known as Partygate in the EU. And so he gets up in front of 10 Downing Street and resigns.
Will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new prime minister.
So that's another one down. Now that one's not entirely on Brexit, but it's a big part of it. Brexit, I would say, claims a third one, but also it would be his own scandals and his mismanagement of COVID. That one you can sort of give as a toss-up. He might have been kicked out either way. Then we get Liz Truss. She steps up after the blundering, mismanaged oaf that is Boris Johnson. It's time for someone a little more straight-laced, a little more buttoned up, someone who's got a good head on her shoulders, who can lead the country the right way. Now, Liz Truss comes in and in her first few weeks in office goes, you know what? Here's the plan. Our economy's in the toilet, largely because of Brexit and COVID. Our economy's trash. Here's how we're gonna fix it. We're gonna cut taxes on the rich and we're gonna increase spending. And then every other government in the world goes, okay, then we're not gonna loan you any money. Because you have absolutely zero plan to pay it. And then as UK borrowing costs spike to unsustainable levels, she is forced to step down. She gets up in front of Parliament and makes a passionate speech.
I am a fighter and not a quitter.
And then 24 hours later,
I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
So, unfortunately, she was a quitter. That's 24 hours later. I'm not even kidding. Famously, she did not outlast a head of lettuce. But there was somebody else in the Conservative Party who the entire time had been negging her and saying her economic policies were stupid. And that was, next up, Rishi Sunak. He's the one who said, look, she doesn't get it. I understand the economy. He's the wealthiest PM that Britain has ever had. This guy's got money. And he steps into office and he's gonna use his knowledge of wealth to get it all figured out. He makes 5 pledges to the British people. Number 1, I'm gonna halve inflation. I'm gonna grow the economy. I'm gonna reduce government debt. I'm gonna cut NHS waiting lists, that's a healthcare, and I'm gonna stop illegal immigrants from coming to the UK in small boats across the channel. He accomplishes a whopping 0 of them. A big goose egg, 0 out of 5. But thankfully, at least he was very relatable.
I've always been a completely normal UK tax player.
Is that what yours now? You're kidding me. Sort of veg katsu curry? Or a regular chicken katsu curry?
No, they're not ours. Yeah, I'm cute.
I have friends who are aristocrats, I have friends who are upper class, I have friends who are, working class, but I'm not working class.
That's one of my favorite lines ever. So he, unfortunately, fails to capture the imagination of the public and fails to make any meaningful progress on his goals. So rather than just stepping down, it's now been long enough that the UK has an actual election. All the previous step downs have been voluntary, but now there's been an actual election and his party has a historic defeat. It's now been 5 prime ministers in a row of terror. And finally, the Tories get completely wiped out in the election and Rishi Sunak steps down.
That the government of the United Kingdom must change, and yours is the only judgment that matters. I have heard your anger, your disappointment, and I take responsibility for this loss.
Powerful stuff, powerful stuff. 1 year, 8 months, and 10 days he lasted. I've heard, and so I'm leaving. And that now brings us right back home to Keir Starmer, who took up after Rishi Sunak with a promise of change, a different party, a different direction, a new hope for the UK. And that is where we are today. So if you are to look back at these 6 different prime ministers, all of whom came into office and all of whom were very quickly replaced and lost the support of the British public, you might notice a common theme. A big part of this is how colossally stupid Brexit has been. The dismal verdict is in. A huge underpinning of the fact is it doesn't matter the different levels of charisma or the choices they make or the promises they make. Again, relatively, I'm being honest here, relatively, Keir Starmer, his scandals are not in the British grand scheme of things that big a deal. He didn't make any absolutely major missteps. He just had no charisma and had no real plan of changing this. Again, let's go back to this graph that I showed. So we looked at this part, right? Brexit and COVID. But what you don't notice on this graph is this part. Ever since COVID, UK real GDP per capita has been flat. There is no growth. They are a completely stagnant economy post-COVID. Other countries are seeing some return to growth, and Britain is not. So you're having this period of stagflation where prices feel like they're rising, they are rising, and real wages are basically flat. And so people are feeling more and more squeezed and angry. There's an economic underpinning to this malaise, and it's causing successive leader after successive leader to, no matter what like window dressing you put on them, if they're not addressing this, they are going to get thrown out again and again and again. Brexit, if you look at the numbers, has reduced UK GDP by 6 to 8% compared to if they had remained in the EU. That is massive. That would be one of the greatest growth years of all time. So like there's this huge drag of where the UK could be to where it actually is now. And there's a real anger. People may not know why. In fact, they probably don't know why because half of them are picking Nigel Farage, but they understand that things aren't moving forward. You can't just like rearrange deck chairs in the Titanic. The ship is going down slowly and somebody needs a more bold plan to fix it. Again, I'm a bit of a fourth turning pilled guy, and it's clear that the UK, if you go by the theory of this book, is in the 4th stage. It's in the crisis stage, or maybe late unraveling. But the thing is, in this time in a country, you can't have regular management back into, you have to have more bold changes. Maybe Brex enter is step 1. But even more than that. So look, the 7th prime minister is about to come, and it's Andy Burnham. It's this guy. He fixes some of Keir Starmer's problems. He is more personable. He is more charismatic. He is a bit bolder on some of his things he's asking for. According to Trump, he is the
new incoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham.
I don't know anything. I see that he was, I guess, the mayor of a town. I hear he's extremely liberal. Extremely. So that means
he's the mayor of a town who's extremely liberal. That's what the president knows about the incoming UK prime minister. How far our relationship has fallen. Now, he is the mayor of Greater Manchester, which I wouldn't really call a town because it has a population of 3 million. But yes, he's coming in and he does have some stronger ideas, but it remains to be seen if him promising hope is going to be enough. Britain's problems are deeper than just the way it's packaged or sold. Real pain has to be given to some sectors of the economy, and ideally it's those with the most wealth, power, and connections. A structural readjustment is required. And you'll see some comments saying 7 and 10 years is terrible. We'll never get anything going if this keeps happening. 7 and 10 years is embarrassing. The whole system needs to be overhauled. And that's the truth. The truth is that regardless of the individual foibles of each leader, the fact is that there is nobody. Every party's leader in the UK is now like 70% plus unfavorability. Everybody hates everybody else. There is nobody with nearing 50% favorability. The UK is in such a dire, polarized spot. So if somebody can't create a coherent message for a broad amount of people in Britain, it's just going to be constant flipping back and forth. They might break the record. They might go from 7 and 10 years to 8, 10, 12. And I think the core of it, why nobody can fix Britain, is that if you are a country that has lost its ability to innovate and create new things, and you've pissed off or isolated all your trade partners, by the way, shout outs to Trump who's doing the same thing. The economic malaise is much bigger than any one prime minister can solve. What sucks is it seems like all of this fracturing and decay and malaise has one big winner, and it's this fucking guy. The guy probably most responsible for causing it. Nigel Farage, the guy who's the biggest proponent of Brexit from day one, is currently the highest polling party in the UK. He is the most likely. And I don't know, on some level, it feels like Big Chungus has finally sent his regards.
A great pog day. And I got to tell you that Big Chungus sends his regard.
A guy doing Big Chungus cameos is now next up. So look, I don't have like a feel-good ending. I don't have like a wrap-up. All I'm saying is like, this is a warning, not only to people within the UK, but to other countries, that this level of polarization doesn't like just automatically solve itself. It compounds. And that the core issue of people being angry with where they sit in the economy, where things are going, will cause them to constantly ping pong faster and faster and faster until something radically changes. So I give one warning to another country. I want to jump over a little bit to end this. To Poland. Poland is a country for whom the last few decades, compared to broader Polish history, have been remarkably good. Poland, against all odds, if you were to flash back to World War II, this is fucking crazy, is nearing the UK GDP per capita. It has doubled since joining the EU and is on track to pass the UK. As in, the average person in Poland will be wealthier than the person in the UK. That is unthinkable in the world. And yet, if you look at Poland right now, there is a rising movement for seemingly no reason to exit the EU. Poll exit. And all I can say is, if you learn one fucking lesson from the UK, after you've had 2 decades of great growth and strong trade partners within the EU, don't make the same mistake. Are humanity doomed to not understand the consequences of their actions? All I can say is, probably don't do it unless you want Big Chungus but Polish to send his regards. Thanks for listening. That's my update on what just happened in the UK. Goodbye to Keir Starmer. Good luck, Andy Burnham.